Hello and how are you? Welcome to our session on who are the performers of FGM. My name is Winnie Barawa, and if you're new here, this channel caters for lectures, lessons, and interviews regarding expertise and knowledge in healthcare. So in this particular session, we are doing a series on female genital mutilation, which is supported by the Girl Generation, which is a movement in collaboration with ACAF and the University of Nairobi in a bid to end female genital mutilation in our community. So stay with me and you can flow with other parts that we've done pertaining FGM so that you can learn more about female genital mutilation. So who performs the FGM in our communities? We are being explained that the people who perform FGM depends on the communities and there's no specific designated person who is automatically stated to be the performer of this practice. However, we are being told that sometimes it can be old, respected women in the community. In some cases, could be including the traditional birth attendants or the specific female circumcisers who have specifically been designated to perform this practice. This is according to research done by Johansen et al. In 2013. But also, there could be families which has been designated the particular lineage of performing female circumcision. So the cutters or the exercisers basically originate from this particular family lineage. So it depends on the community, but you won't get like there is a specific person who does it. It depends with what does the community provide, what does the community believe, and which people are treated as the major custodian of this skill. So in some communities, you find some men used to be performers of the FGM, especially people who are originally barbers, so they were treated as people who could exercise this practice, and so they could perform the procedure. Currently, in our today's world, what is a biggest challenge now of people who are performing FGM is the medical team, where we have what you currently call medicalization of FGM. So this is a current trend, like the cutters are now moving from being traditional birth attendants or traditional members of the community, but rather we are working with people who are in the healthcare industry who understand what infection prevention is, people who understand basically the challenge of FGM being performers of this FGM. So the biggest elephant in the room is now how do we stop medicalization of FGM in our communities? So on the performing of FGM, there are different tools and instruments that are normally used for carrying out the exercise. And unfortunately, these tools, based on history, they have always been found to be very crude and non-sterile, as there's no proper infection prevention methodologies that are being implemented for these girls and women. So you find that in some states, in some places, they used surgical blades, others use razor blades, chicken knives or kitchen knives, sorry, pieces of sharp glasses. In cases is scissors, there is use of very long sharp nails, sharp stones like in Eastern Sudan. Then there's cauterizations and burning that is used in Ethiopia. So the instruments normally vary with the community and what is prescribed in that particular community. However, these instruments are normally shared and they're usually reused without adequate measures of sterilization. Because remember, this is a traditional practice. There wasn't any much medical thought put into it. So it's a practice just trying to achieve the rule of belonging or the rule of belonging to that community or being practiced as a rite of passage. And as a rite of passage here, we are looking at someone achieving the transition from being a girl to a woman or transitioning into a state that you become fully a member of the community. So the procedure itself, how it's done is that it's normally carried out without any form of anesthesia. So there is no really pain management being put in place. So it's normally done when most of these ladies are wide awake, and in some cases they're usually done very much in the morning when they feel it's still cold and there's still cool breeze. So it's done depending on different environments. But then there's no pain management at all that is being done. They say they don't put anesthesia or pain management because it's a test of womanhood. They want to test their strength and their ability to withstand the severity of life. And it can take around 15 to 20 minutes depending on the skill of the exerciser or the extent of the mutilation. For instance, in cases where they're doing the type step 3, which is the infibulation. That is actually the severe of all. And in such cases, the procedure can take longer or it can take more time. Remember also there's risk of complications with such a procedure. So depending on how it happens, the timing for it can also vary. So after the procedure, typical or topical applications are normally applied. And this, remember, these are not herbal applications, or they're not medicinal applications. They're normally just application to stop the bleeding and to prevent any secretions that could be coming from the cut. So in some places, they could be applying ash, herbal mixtures, alcohol, cow dung, soil, lemon juices, name them. Again, this prescription depends on the community that the people come from and it's not cut across. So after the cut and everything has been done, there's now the need to close the wound and to ensure that it's covered. So they'll apply different things depending on the community practices and the way they manage their wound, or rather the wound management of the community. So in the current trends is where there's introduction of medicalization of the practice and has led to this procedure being carried out aseptically, because some healthcare workers are providing anesthesia and they're providing anesthetic drugs into carrying out this procedure. So those who practice it in secrecy and because they don't want to be known, they have consenting procedures, they have methods where they come into agreement and nobody will know about it, which is the unfortunate bit, because practicing it as a medical procedure, it's a very unfortunate bit, because at the end of the day, the woman will still suffer the complications of the FGM. And that marks the end of our lesson on who performs this crude procedure, because remember, it's not any favor we are doing to these women by mutilating their external genitalia, either by suturing them, cutting them, or removing them. Otherwise, we are basically exposing them to complications, which can vary from immediate complications to long-term complications. So let's all work together to end female genital mutilation. And if you're new here again, kindly remember to subscribe if you've not done so. If you're a returning subscriber, leave a comment and share this work with your platform. Thank you very much, and let's meet in our next classes.